Hello everybody, it's Rebecca. I'm sorry that I haven't updated in a super long time. I was going to update for you guys, but I had a paper and I've been sick, and I'm really sorry that I haven't gotten to any of your questions until now. As you can see, I'm in a different dorm room. I had to change rooms and I've just been super busy, so I apologize. And now on to the questions. The first question is from Roy, and he asks me to talk about accessibility in college and at work. Um, Accessibility in college for ODU is very good. We have an entire disability services department that tries to cater to anybody's needs within reason, no matter what sort of disability you have. They have note takers and people who can assist you, and they have a special testing center, so if you need specific conditions for your tests. Also, if you have a mobility issue, like you are in a wheelchair, there are provisions on campus to help you. There's a go-kart situation where they can escort you to classes. And in a lot of the buildings, I think all of our buildings are handicap accessible, even Spong Hall, which I think was built way back when in the 30s or whenever, I'm not sure. It's pretty old. It's in the oldest part of campus. Even Spong Hall has an elevator and a handicap ramp leading up to it. However, in some places, it's difficult. Like in one of our places, the wheelchair lift doesn't actually work, so you have to go out of the building one way, go around, and come in through another door to get to some of your classes. So mobility in college just depends on what college you go to and how accommodating they are. ODU tries to be as accommodating as possible to anybody's disability. And work-wise, I have only worked one place. I worked at Hallow Scream at Busch Gardens. I was a witch, and they were very good and accommodating. They would read anything out loud to me if I needed it read. There wasn't a lot that I actually had to read. It was mostly acting. And they have a non-discrimination policy for ability, sexual identity, sexual orientation, gender identity, sexual orientation. And that's the only place that I've worked, so I don't really have a lot of work experience to tell you. One reason that I don't work is I can't drive to commute places, so that changes it a little bit for me. If you have any further questions, feel free to ask. The next one is one that I found in the comments. I'm sorry if I didn't get to anybody's questions per se. I'm not sure whether I found them all, but I made myself a list of them. Axel liked to sing a lot asked, what kind of treatments are there to take care of problems since albinism can't be cured? There are operations for strabismus, which is where the eyes stare in different directions. People with albinism rarely see with both eyes after that. It's a cosmetic surgery, or so I read in a medical textbook that was from 2008, so I don't know. Because I haven't personally experienced any of the surgeries. And then there's a nystagmus surgery that they do to make your eyes shake less so they stay. And I've heard from people that when they get it, their eyes do tend to shake less and they are able to focus on things more. So that one, from what I have heard from actual people who had it, is helpful. Medical textbooks didn't really say that it was, but you don't really know how successful something's going to be. Like, it just depends. Like, every person is different. Like, I could get surgery and react to it a completely different way than somebody else could. Other treatments, well, I tend to wear a lot of sunblock because that's a temporary thing that you can do to like not get as much sunburn, which comes with the cutaneous part of oculocutaneous albinism. A lot of people will wear glasses or contacts. Neither one worked for me. I tried them both. The contacts that I tried were the solid gas permeable ones, and they did improve my vision and they did make it darker, but not enough so for me that it was worth wearing them because they scratched up my corneas. And there are different things that you can do, like you can use visual aids like I do, the monocular and the magnifier, or there are stronger ones like CCTVs, and there's a lot of mobility training that you can get to help you. But as far as surgeries go, the strabismus and nystagmus ones are the only two that I am familiar with. There may be more in the future, or more that have come out by now since the last time I researched it last year, but I am not familiar with them. All right, Pika Fresh asked me about a friend of this person's who could see colors like dark blue, black, and such colors, but couldn't see red, orange, or pink. And I don't know if this is linked to albinism. I doubt it. It sounds more like a sex-linked colorblind trait, but I'm not sure. I have certainly not heard of people with albinism getting the sensation of not being able to see certain colors. For me, how it gets is I can distinguish dark objects better than light objects in some situations, like if it's really bright. But how it gets for me is if the light becomes too bright, I can only see things in like super saturated, either really dark or really light, and then it just all goes black. It gets to the point where it's too bright that my brain just cuts off and can't process it. So I don't know what your friend is experiencing. It could be something similar to that, only at a different level. But a lot of people's perception is different. So it could be a mix of color blindness and albinism, but I am not sure. I am not an eye doctor by any means. Oh, Carter Cool also 90 also asked me about photophobia because I used the word, and I have always heard it being said as photophobic. I am photophobic, and I looked it up to make sure because Carter Cool said that it might be photosensitive. But when I looked up photophobic, this is what it said word for word. Photophobia is a symptom of excessive sensitivity to light and the aversion to sunlight or well-lit places. In ordinary medical terms, photophobia is not a medical fear, but an experience of discomfort or pain to the eyes due to light exposure. So medically, it's used as an aversion to light, which I have. I was actually out in the sunlight with a friend today. I took off my glasses and I was like, I can't open my eyes. I'm sorry. I know we're trying to take a picture, but I can't do it. And we had to go find a shadier place. But yeah, there's a strong aversion to light with a lot of people, like who are severely albino. Like there are different levels of albinism, and I'm not sure whether I'm the most severe or the second most severe. There's a type positive and a type negative, and my parents never told me which one I was. But a lot of people will have that sensitivity to light, and we do call it photophobia. It's more like a medical term than a psychological term when we use it. So that would be the correct term. And if you guys have any more questions, I am going to wrap this one up. And after this, I'm going to do a video real quick that explains the genetics of albinism. So keep tuned for that and ask any question you want. It's okay. I will take questions that are brazen and rude to questions that are long and complicated. I will take anything, and it was really great to do this for you guys. And I will try to post more often as I'm coming up to the end of my spring semester. I get out in May, yay! So then I will have more time to post and answer questions. And if I didn't catch your question in the comments, then just be like, hey, you didn't answer my question, and post what your question is, and I will totally answer it. I'm sorry. See you next video. If I can find the stop button. Oh, stop button, why do you hide?